everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here with part 1 from the Simon Says May 2018 card kit called Kind Heart. There was so much available within this kit for that month that the cards went really quick. As always, I try to use only items that come in the kit so that you can get the most use out of it. I do, though, use some dies out of my stash. So for card number 1, I really liked the colors of this pattern paper because there were some stickers that actually matched it perfectly. I grabbed an oval die from my stash as well, and the frame die that I'm using is the Lawn Fawn Stitch Rectangle, but it actually measures 3 3/4 by 5 inches if you just wanted to use a paper trimmer. So I cut that out all at once, and I'm going to use my double-sided foam tape to prop this up. Now, this double-sided foam tape is very strong, so I like it. It's tough to work with, though, because of the strength, but the reason why I do have this is because I use it mainly if I'm doing a watercolor panel. I like to use this on the back of it because it is that strong. Trust me, once you get this down on your card base or any base, it ain't coming off. There is nothing. You can't even pull it apart. It's very temperamental, and you can see just how it sticks to the scissors. I'm constantly having to clean them, but I really do like it for that fact. I always have to use my pick to separate the backing off of it as well because it is so strong. So because these cards went so quickly because of all the awesome things that we got in the kit, I was able to just show that. I've had a couple questions when it came to the few times I used that tape. So I set my panel down, raising it up as we just went through. Now I grabbed one of the stickers, the puffy stickers that says Love Always, and then I'm using some of the florals. Now again, the leaves that I'm putting at the top and the branches were very similar to this pattern paper, so it just drew me to use these puffy stickers. So I'm actually putting them in underneath of the oval and then also coming out, and then I'm grabbing one of the other florals that's similar to the bottom blue. And that's our first card. So very simple, but very quick and elegant looking. So for card number 2, I wanted to play around with some of the pattern paper. So again, I'm using my Lawn Fawn Stitch Rectangle, and again, that panel's 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I really liked the curves when it came to this pattern paper in the pack, and I'm just slowly, because I felt the need to use my large 9.5-inch shears here, just to cut along one of those curves. I grabbed the sentiment, Miss You Like Crazy, and I'm going to stamp this right down onto the pattern paper. We can do that. We don't have to have a solid piece of paper. It took me a while. So I'm stamping that, and I'm holding this there for a while because I'm not using my stamp positioner. You all know why. I don't like the glare that comes across. I'm figuring that out. So that will be happening soon. But just holding it there so that the ink goes down onto the paper so I have a nice solid image. I used another section to cut a template so that I would know exactly where to cut, because I want this pattern paper as well to have the same type of movement or waves, or I don't know, wavy lines if you want to call them. So I'm just cutting slowly around with that as well. So these are going to be layered right on top of each other, and after I realize I'm going to grab my Lawn Fawn Stitch Rectangle die that I used originally. It comes in soon. It comes in, there we go. That's when the thought came into my mind there. And I'm going to cut them using that so that the stitching goes all the way around the pieces. And I'm going to cut them at the same time so that they're the same size. Excuse me. I'm so sorry about my voice, but I have to, every once in a while, I got to take a little sip of my tea so that my voice, I don't lose it. I'm going to adhere the Miss You Like Crazy on top using double-sided foam tape, and then I'm going to use my tape runner to adhere that panel onto the floral pattern paper. And I'm just going to tip the back up to that panel so that it is even. So a little bit of dimension while we're using the pattern paper. I'm going to use my tape runner to get this panel onto my 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 top folding white card base. And again, all of my card bases, I used the cardstock that came with the kit. And as always, if they only gave you 4 pieces, I always add another one from my stash. I grabbed a couple of the heart puffy stickers, not the shiny ones, but just the regular puffy ones, and added them to the card as well. So that's card number 2. So for card number 3, you saw all the wonderful designs that everybody did with this piece of pattern paper. I think if you saw every of the Simon Says videos, this was the one that you saw. So this is my take on it, so to speak. So I'm going to take the heart die, the outlying die, and I'm going to place that in the center of my Favorite Things wonky stitched rectangle die. Now that panel actually measures 3 1/8 by 4 1/2. So if you wanted to just cut that, you could. So I made sure that that was centered. And I'm not creating a shaker, but I want this panel raised off of the base that I also cut using the same wonky rectangle die. And I'm just putting some double-sided foam tape around it so that it's going to have this lift, where it's almost like a mini panel that we're creating. I also then, with the other section of the heart die, I used a piece of scrap black cardstock from my stash, and I'm actually going to adhere that down onto the white cardstock that I cut out. Okay, now, clue, just a tip here. This is an awesome adhesive, and I never get it dry on the ends unless if I don't put the cap back on and leave it standing upright. So always clean the tip, and then you will never have a problem. Okay, back to that. So I put little glue dots along the back side, and I'm just placing that down inside the raised area. So again, kind of gives you just a little bit of dimension. Okay, now these here. So I stamped them and did the vintage photo around them, and I'm sorry, guys. My brain, again, it was going to the right, and it just real quick went to the left because I pulled out some of the puffy stickers and also the glossy hearts that also came in the kit. I just have, it's me. It's not the product. The Simon Says inks, just like the Hero Arts inks, are very good. I just cannot get a solid impression no matter what. So I do tend to avoid them. I apologize, but it's just me. So I did cut those out and stamp them. It just didn't look right for me with the colors. But I love the way that this looks because it says, "It's all you," and it says heart. So I really like the sentiment that we came up with. I used my Nuvo sparkle pen, and I'm just going over the black heart with adding just some shine and shimmer to that. And that is card number 3. Okay, card number 4, I think, is a record time. I'm using my Favorite Things wonky stitch rectangle, and I'm specifically positioning it so that that ampersand is right there. I'm going to use a piece of foam tape, or fun foam, so that I can prop this up. And I'm actually going to leave the whole process in because of the record time this card took. So this big roll here is double-sided tape. Now this is super strong double-sided tape. If you've seen some of my previous videos, especially the Tonic Studios butterfly, this is the tape that I use to make my own glitter panels. It is phenomenal. And it is strong. It's not going to go anywhere. So I use this on both sides. Usually you don't see this part. I use this for both sides of my fun foam. And that piece of fun foam, those are my instructions on what I'm doing for my cards. So now my secret's out. It's just amazing at how strong this is. So that is what I use when I'm doing my fun phone prop-ups when it comes to the backings of these. So there you go, got to know a secret. So with the ampersand, there was 2 stickers, and they are the puffy block stickers that came in the kit. This one says nowhere to be. So I was going to put that on the top, but I figured, you know what? I want to put that on the bottom. And at the top, it's going to say, in this moment. So now the sentiment totally reads, in this moment, and nowhere to be. That's the card. But I love that card. That's one of my favorites. So with this one, same thing. You know, the pattern papers and this kit, it really did the work. Again, the only thing that you're seeing me pulling out are some frame dies to cut out my panels. And even that you don't need. The frame, the die that I used for this is my Penny Black Vintage Frames. We all know that's my second favorite frame die out there. And I'm going to prop the section. I specifically positioned that die over 6 of the panels. And I'm going to position that right onto my 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 top folding card base. And always know that is always my standard, the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And it's usually always a top folding. Very rarely, unless they come in the kit, am I doing a side folding. I'm grabbing some of these beautiful, absolutely gorgeous gloss hearts and a couple of the puffy hearts that came in the kit. And I'm just positioning them along the top to make it look like they're holding down this note. Some of the sentiments on this are absolutely great. Forever is composed of now. Great things never come from comfort zones. I want you all to remember that. Fill your life with adventures, not things. What feels like the end is often the beginning. So that's just some of the, a few of them. But the best one is, you make mistakes. Mistakes don't make you. So that's a good one to know as well. So I kept placing all of those hearts up there. I'm now going to grab my glossy accents, and I'm going to go over, they're like pieces of washi tape. I think that's what they're supposed to be. So I'm just going to add some glossy accents to that, and it really does make them stand out. You'll see it in the close-ups that I have at the end. So you can see these cards went really, really quick. And that's because of the great contents of this kit. It came with so much that you had so many stickers that you were able to embellish, and the pattern papers were absolutely gorgeous. So these are the cards that we made for part 1 of the Simon Says May 2018 card kit. I hope you enjoyed them. By all means, hit that thumbs up, and if you see that subscribe button and it doesn't say that you're subscribed, make sure you hit it so that you don't miss any of my future videos coming out. We are playing catch up, so there's a bunch that are coming out real quick. Somehow I got behind, but that's okay. I always want to make sure that I'm giving you the videos so that you have more inspiration, and I hope I am inspiring you to create, use these kits, combine these kits, and showing you many ways that whatever we have in our stash can create beautiful pieces of paper art. I hope everyone has a great day. As usual, all the products that I used outside of the kit, which is not many, will be linked down below. And if you have a question or a comment, please make sure you leave them down below as well. I will make sure that I get back to you as soon as I can. I hope everyone's having a great holiday weekend if you celebrate for Memorial Day. But most important, and always remember everyone, be creative.